We've got a little bit of a different build review here today. From our usual planes and things like that, we've got the Silver Dragon from Metal Earth. This is a premium model by them, and it's actually pretty old. This thing, they came out with it, I think it says November 5th, 2018, they came out with this model. So this is, a pretty old model. I wouldn't say one of their very first, but it's pretty old. So it's got its flaws. It definitely has its flaws. It don't meet the standards that they have today with the newer planes and stuff that they're creating. This has a little bit of gaps in it and things like that, but this is still a really neat model, and this is a model that a lot of newcomers to the metal model community is going to gravitate towards buying. I know I did. I seen it and I thought it was really cool. So let's go over some of the things that is going to be difficult in this model for people and some of the things to watch out for. Maybe I can give you some tips on some things to do to make your model better, maybe to hold tighter than what mine is. I built this a while back. This is not a recent build of mine, so I know a lot more than what I did when I built this. They got this at expert difficulty. It's not. This is not expert difficulty. A lot of the newer models is way harder than this. This is a really big model, but it's not really that hard. I think they got it at a 9 out of a 10. This thing should be maybe, I don't know, a 6 or 7, in my opinion. This thing is not too difficult. It goes together really well. So you can pick this thing up on Amazon right now for $22.95. I think I got mine at Mitchell's or Michael's. I've also seen it at Hobby Lobby also. So, there's a few different places you can get this. It's a 3-sheet model. It's something different to have in your collection. It does take up a lot of room, I will say that. Like the wingspan on this thing it's really big. So, if you ain't got the room for this, maybe don't go and buy it. But let's jump into some of the things to watch out for this model. It's really repetitive. I mean, as you can see here, the body of this thing is like these little cylinders that you create, all these different cylinders. You round them out, you take a piece, make a cylinder, slap 2 sides on it, and there's a couple more things you got to do. But there is some pieces that you have to bend here. I don't know if you can see in between there, the pieces that hold them apart. When you're building this, it's easy to bend them the wrong way. So watch which way you're bending them, because I actually bent maybe a couple in the wrong direction. Then you got to bend it back, and it really makes that metal really fragile and easy to break. So you just want to be careful with those steps. Like I said, this is very repetitive. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 cylinders here. The ones where the legs connect are actually a little bit different. Like there's 2 pieces here on this one. See how it's got 2 different? Yeah, it's not just 1 cylinder. So for your spikes, the spikes coming out of the neck, the spikes coming out of the tail, these are fairly easy. You want, when you're folding these things, use your tweezers, or your needle nose is probably going to be better. Once you get your fold, squeeze it. Don't squeeze it too much, but make sure you get on the end, the tip of it. The wings are really messing with my focus there, but get on the tip of the spike and make sure it's folded in, because they want to stay open a little bit. So you want it looking good. Get on that tip of the spike and close it up to match the rest of it. So when you're connecting these pieces here, as you can see, mine has some play. And if I was to do this model now, I could get it really tight and not as much play as that right there. I don't know if it'd be absolutely perfect, but you can get these tighter than what I have. What you're going to want to use is twists. You're going to want to twist the tabs that you're going to be able to twist without them getting in the way. Maybe even some of the ones that they're trying to tell you to fold over. This is an older model, so maybe they're telling you to fold a tab where really, if you twisted it, you get a tighter fit and it's not going to come loose if you would use a twist instead of a fold. So keep an eye out for that. If you can use a twist and it's not going to get in the way, you know, if it's going to be hit on the inside of these cylinders and it ain't going to get in the way of another piece laying down, use a twist, not a fold. And you can use a twist and then fold the twist down, and that sometimes gives you a better connection than just doing a fold. Like on this nose here, on that spike on the nose, mine is wobbly because I think there's only 2 tabs on that. I folded one way and then the other one I folded the other way. Twist them suckers. Put that thing in there and twist those tabs, and hopefully you can get a better connection than mine and it's not going to want to flop around. Another thing in the directions, these eyebrows that they have you put on here, the eyebrows above it, they want you to put them on, and then whatever piece, this tab, I think it's the top here, then you connect the 2 sides together. But then you can't fold your tabs down because they fold over top of your eyebrows. So you want to fold these tabs down before you get the eyebrows completely on and smashed down. You know, you don't want that tab sticking up over top of that eyebrow. These spikes on the head right here, I kind of went overboard with trying to get them pressed down too much, and I ended up crushing them. You can see on the tip right there, see it? On that backside one, it's kind of got an indentation because I crushed it too much. For your wings, I know this is, you know, close to one of the last steps, the wings, but if you put your wings on and you do nice tight twists, these wings are going to set perfectly. They're not going to be lopsided. They're going to go on and set perfectly. Now these arms, where they connect to the cylinder here, there will be some gaps. There's going to be a gap there and a gap here, so I sat and tried to get those gaps to go away. I couldn't do it, so don't, you know, cry over spilled milk there. You know, you're going to have a gap there or whatever. Also, if I was to redo this, see, you can see my tabs on the outside. You could get these tabs on the inside of these cylinders and it would look a lot better. You could fold your tabs inside, so you could bring them out, stick them through your slots this way, and then fold them back, and it actually would give you a way better connection than what I got here, and it would look way better also. These pieces on the tail here, they're, you know, you got cylinders going back until you get to right here, and then tail is just like, you know, 4 pieces mashed together, and then you got these wraps that go around it. These wraps, you can you know, if you just threw these wraps on there, they would look like crap. You gotta throw these things on there, and you kind of gotta waller them around to get even spacing on each side of the tail. Yeah, and on the top too. You know, you want them looking good, and you know, you don't want a big gap on one side and then the other side closed up. So try to get them wraps as even as what you can, and it's really going to make that tail come together and look a lot better. For these spikes on the tail, these things get really, really tiny, and it is hard to fold these small ones. So just take your time with it. I think these last 3 here, they're the smallest, 1, 2, 3, and then they start getting larger. These things are the same size, these last 3, and man, it's easy to squash them and mess them up. So really take your time with those bends and folds, and don't go overboard and squeeze them too much. So one of the hardest parts of this is the actual legs. Shaping these legs took me some time to get them looking as good as what they are. You know, you want to use some round tools. I actually made a video about tools. I'll link it right here. You can go watch it. But there's some fondant tools on there that have metal balls, and they're really nice for shaping the ends of these here. You want a good round shape on them. You know, you don't want it blocky looking. Also on the legs, these little like pads, the elbow pads and the knee pads here, they took me a minute. They took me a minute to get them done because, man, it's hard to shape them. You know, I made mine like, I wanted mine to look kind of more round and not so blocky, and man, it took a while to shape them. So my best advice on them is just to take your time. If you want this to look good, take your time on these knee and elbow pads, and it's gonna come out a lot better. I went for a more round shape on them. I wanted the edges round. If you like the kind of square, you know, I guess it's preference. The feet here, these things actually suck to make. So the legs, the feet, in my opinion, that's probably the worst part. The head was kind of difficult also, but I think the legs and the feet were the worst part, and connecting them onto the body, that wasn't fun either. Shaping this piece here, getting this shape, getting these V's in the feet there, the V's, that took some time, because you know, it don't want to come out perfect like that when you start doing it. You really got to fiddle around with it and, you know, unbend it, you know, bend it back to get these V's in the toes to match with that flat top piece on the top of the foot. Give these, the claws, a nice twist on the inside. Twist it, and if it ain't tight, untwist it, twist it again. I wouldn't twist it more than twice because that tab will break. That would be an okay place to use glue if you wanted, you know, just be careful using the glue. You don't want it to get on the outside and, you know, mess with the look. So same thing on the feet. This left foot actually has a plate on the bottom of it. It's not too bad. It is not going to lay flat. As you can see, you're going to have a gap right there. That's just how it is. I mean, you can't get that to lay flat. Yeah, and the last thing they have you do is put the legs on the body. And what is hard about that is these tabs come out here, and it is just hard to get them to fold because you got this cylinder piece that's connecting the leg to the body, and you know, you fold it into that. You got to fold them around it, and you're trying to fold it and you're slipping and scratching stuff, you know, and you got these wings in your way. You know, you got the wings in your way trying to get in there with tooling to try to fold all that stuff. Just take your time with it, and you know, don't torque it too much and, you know, rip your leg off accidentally trying to get those. Just do what you can. Put a twist on it if you have to, twist it, and then come back and fold it down and just get it looking good with a nice fold. In the top right hand corner is the video that YouTube thinks you should watch, and in the bottom right hand corner is some more build reviews from my channel. Guys, don't forget to subscribe. I really appreciate you watching, and until next time, happy building.